Welcome. Today, Mr. O'Connor, you were able to get on. Awesome. So today, we're having a panel discussion around the shielding yourself from the commission lawsuits, as well as some of the other woes that real estate agents are having. So really quickly, we're going to do a quick round robin. I am Damon Green from the Iconic Agent. We help motivated real estate agents make more money selling new construction homes so they can live more impactful lives. Mr. Filson, can you introduce yourself really quickly, please?
Yes. My name is Jerry Filson. I'm with eXp Realty here in Southwest Florida. I am a longtime grandfather agent of the Iconic Agent. Been working with Damon and Nate for several years. Yeah. We'll keep it that way. And just love it. Just glad to be here and just provide information and valuable solutions to help people kind of understand where things are going.
All right, Nate.
I am Nathaniel Crawford. I'm a luxury broker here in sunny South Florida for a little over 13 years on both the private equity and retail sides. And I like helping people make a lot of money in real estate.
Yeah, side note, Nate is responsible for some iconic projects in the Miami area. He'll be very humble with it, but he's the man. Michelle, you're muted.
I don't hear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Hello
everyone. I'm Michelle Beatty. I'm a realtor here in South Florida for 7 years, and I'm an owner together with JR of Gia Day Masterclass. And what we do, we help realtors establish and predict business. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm an honor to be here with all of you guys talking about this hot topic. It's exciting. Awesome. I'm excited for that.
Thank you. Mr. Alexander.
Yes, hi, I'm Jay Alexander. I'm a student of the Iconic Agent and Nathaniel Crawford as well. We're colleagues and now friends, and we're looking forward to changing some things. I'm wearing black today because it's a funeral for some of these mindsets that are out here and some of these things that agents are thinking about. So I had to wear all black today. So we're gonna put some of the stuff to rest, and we're excited to get started. Exactly. Let's see.
All right, and drum roll, please. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Robert O'Connor from the Rob Luxury Group.
Rob O'Connor from Rob Luxury Home Group. I want to say first, Nate, I like your shirt better than JR's, and that's much better. Little character, but yeah, I run Rob Luxury Home Group here in Tampa, Florida. We are a team of 9. And of course, we do new construction marketing with Damon as well.
All right, awesome. So we'll get in. We won't keep you guys long. The chat is open. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving, Matt. Thank you. Ina, what's up? Okay, y'all can hear me now. Cool. So we're going to dive in. So this came fresh off the presses today from Inman, and this is the general topics we're going to discuss. Anywhere RE/MAX commission lawsuit settlements move forward. There's a lot of buzz in the industry around that, as well as mortgage rates overtake inventory as the biggest worry for agents. Reasons to be worried. Won't discount that, but let's go ahead and let me stop the share here so we have front and center. And I'm just going to go down the line, and we're going to have a conversation around this. Again, if you're in the chat, you have questions or comments, drop them in there. On Zoom, I'll try to switch back and forth from Facebook. But Nate, you want to monitor the Facebook feed?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so I guess we'll start, and I'm gonna address the first person on the screen here, and then we're all going to go down and we just have a conversation around it. But Mr. Filson, make sure you unmute. What is the fallout from the commission lawsuits? What are you seeing, and what are your plans to mitigate that?
Well, first things first, I don't know how I became first. So I think Nate did that to me. But the thing with the lawsuits for buyer's commission is it is something that is real. And we have to accept that. I mean, either way it goes, you know, that's up to determined to NAR how they want to handle it and fight that. There's a lot of misinformation out there. People need to stay in tune because your buyers and your sellers are more in tune to the wrong information than the correct information. And I think, you know, being in my market, I'm adding as much value and factual information. The numbers don't lie. When you sit down to do anything, you know, this is something Nate hit me upside the head with a long time ago. You know, starting out with the iconic agent, the numbers don't lie. I mean, and if you can present that in a way that is non-combative, then you will continue to stay in business. But with the ramifications of everything and the way it's going, we do have a plan, and I hope that, you know, this panel today that's going live, and, you know, any questions that people ask, we can answer. But we do have a plan. I mean, the people that you're seeing right here on this screen are not worried at all. I'm not worried. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care what they do. That does not affect me. That does not affect my business. That's not going to affect how I do business. But I know a lot of people are scared, and fear is the absentee of knowledge. So, you know, we need to educate everyone so that they understand, you know, exactly what's going
on. Okay. We'll come back to your plan on that, like some of the things you're looking at doing. Michelle.
Okay, about the lawsuit. I'm with you, Jari. There is nothing to be scared. Nothing to be scared. When you're scared, you block yourself to see clear, to find solutions. And a good agent's always going to find a way how to make money and get paid and be in a business. I do understand the points of every side. You know, I'm going to talk for myself. I represent more buyers than sellers. So I know the value of the buyer agent. It's priceless. Also, I understand about the seller to be responsible for both commissions. Also, I understand that many buyers barely have the down payment and not going to be able to buy their house because now they have to pay for the agent. However, it's time for adjustment. It is for real. It is real. It's time for adjustment, and it's time for innovate. And I'm so honored to be here with all of you guys because I can see how brilliant are you guys. Everyone has something to innovate the industry and very creative. And that's what the industry are craving, for people more scalable, more knowledgeable and creative and innovative. So for those that follow that path, to feed the industry with high performance, high level professional, the industry is going to be even better. So I would say it's time to level up because it's for real, it's real, and should not be scared. Just, you know, educate yourself, learn, practice how to talk to your buyer, to your seller that you're worth it, and be innovative. And one thing that I want to say is, today, the realtors, they're looking to be successful in the business. They have to model themselves with people, outstanding people. They already bring results. That's my recommendation for this moment.
All right, and stepping back, someone in the chat had a real good comment. So let's, I guess Nate and Rob, you guys are up, and Jari chime in too. Give a 30,000-foot overview of the lawsuit, just for those folks that are on and aren't 100% clear. They're just hearing "be afraid."
Can I start it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
So
on.
basically, like the lawsuit stating that realtors, we conspired to inflate the commission. So basically, we rigged the system to be 6% on both sides. So that's the nuts and bolts of the case, which is not the truth, because there's still 1% commissions. You got, you know, companies that have flat fees. So that's always existed. So it's just your choice, it's your option. But they're saying that agents literally conspired to do that, and that's really what the case is about. Sellers, they've always had the choice not to pay brokers, but again, when the market is not as competitive and it's harder now, like, it makes your property less desirable. So there's some agents that it's true they won't show a property unless the commission's a certain percentage. But then you have agents like myself. I don't care, because I just need the person in my pipeline because I'm thinking of the future sales. So that's pretty much what the case is all about.
Okay. Nate, Rob, you want to chime in? Sorry, actually, anybody wants to chime in on that as far as the overview and your interpretation of it?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So, make sure I'm off mute. Okay. Yeah. So to sort of piggyback on what JR said, there are a lot of MLSs in the country, believe it or not, and a couple of them were in the lawsuit, that mandated that the selling commission be split 50-50 between the listing agent and the buyer's agent. There are other markets, or most markets, in fact, where the MLS mandated that you had to offer some sort of co-broking commission with 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever. What I think happened as a result of lack of buyers informing their clients on how commissions work, and lack of sellers explaining to them how the 6% commission works, is that you ended up with buyers feeling like they didn't have to pay a commission, or the prices were inflated because the seller had to pay the 6% commission, and sellers not understanding that if there's no buyer's agent, it doesn't save them money. So if I list a property and there's a 6% commission on that, and JR brings a buyer, I decide whether I give him 3% or 2% or 1%. He doesn't decide that. The seller doesn't decide that. The commission is mine. But because of that lack of communication there, you ended up with an industry worth of people who don't understand sort of how the co-broke works. And because they don't understand that it's negotiable, they then accuse agents of price fixing, because agents have been trained that, oh, well, industry standard is 6%, when that's really not the case. But if you don't tell anybody that things are negotiable, they don't know. So you don't walk into an attorney's office and he tells you his rates are $250 an hour and say, hey, will you take $100 an hour? He tells you his rates are $250 an hour. You pay the $250. If it doesn't work, you leave, even though those rates are negotiable. But the attorney's not going to tell you that the rate is negotiable any more than the guy who changes your brakes is going to tell you that his rate is negotiable. He's going to tell you the price. That's what real estate agents have done, real estate brokers have done for decades. And the educated consumer knows that that price is negotiable. A lot of other people don't know that. And because they weren't educated about that, then they felt some type of way. I do think, though, as a sort of a layer above that, is that most of the agents that are I shouldn't say most, all the agents on the Zoom, but most agents that I've spent time around are good agents. And when you're a good agent, your client doesn't know how hard your job is. Everybody on this Zoom has argued with a title company at least once. Everybody's had episodes with mortgage brokers, with homeowners associations, with all these things. And you fight those battles and your client doesn't know that. All they know is that when they show up at the closing table, everybody's ready to close. They don't know that you almost had to punch the mortgage dude in his throat because you needed to close at noon and not at 4 o'clock the next day. They don't know these things. And because they don't know these things, and we as agents don't always go back to our clients and say, hey, I had to fight 3 people today and not talk to 2 agents and move all this stuff around to get your deal done, they think everything's just sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. Then you get to the closing table and they look at a closing statement and say, well, damn, Nate just made $90,000 and he's just been walking around with lollipops and playing basketball. And that's not the case. But if we as agents don't articulate to them what we do, they don't know. So what has happened historically is I think a lot of good agents have done their job too good, in that they made it look too easy. And a lot of bad agents didn't do their job at all. And buyers and sellers ended up having to fight those battles on their own. And they got to the closing table and saw that closing statement and were like, you didn't earn this money. So either they don't think we earned the money because they had to do the work themselves, or they don't think we earned the money because they didn't see all the battles we had to fight on their behalf. So as a result of that, now sort of what JR and Michelle were saying, I think we as agents have to be more transparent. And Jari mentioned this too. We have to be more transparent with educating our clients on exactly what we do and how hard our job is.
All right, and I just launched a poll in the group. You guys look in the chat. Go ahead and answer that. We'll give you the results on that. So Nate, since you're going already, I'll reiterate on the question. What's the fallout from the commission lawsuit, and what are your plans to do? What are you planning to do about it?
Well, I'm going to continue to sell real estate. With I don't think the short term fallout is going to be much. I think the longer term fallout is what we're going to see. I think there are a lot of selfish listing agents that are going to stop co-broking, or they're going to reduce the selling commission, and that's going to affect their days on market. So their property's going to end up on the market longer. There's probably a handful of listing agents out there that can legitimately say that they don't need a co-broken agent. They can sell it themselves. There's some guys out there that can do that. And those people are going to win. Why? Because they don't have to list it anymore. They can do whatever they want. But I think the larger group of agents are going to get a very rude awakening in how dependent they are on the co-broken agent. Just like if we're talking new construction sales, 89% of new construction sales come from general real estate agents. They come from us. They don't come from a developer's marketing. So I would venture to say that there's probably a similar statistic if you're talking about co-broking sales. The vast majority of agents who have to put their listings in the MLS don't double in those listings. They're not getting buyers from Zillow. They're getting buyers from people like the folks on the Zoom, or that are coming in with buyers who are actively looking, because we're getting up every morning with search alerts in the MLS, finding those properties and then presenting them to our clients. So you're going to end up with a lot of agents that are sort of getting rude awakenings. The solution to that, for me, is to do what we've trained everybody on this Zoom to do, is to sell new construction, and to add to that, to go after listings. If you own the listings, you're going to get paid because you're dealing directly with the buyer. If you're selling new construction, you're going to get paid because developers are offering co-broken selling commissions, and most of the time they're higher than 3%. So if you have that expertise and you have the skills and resources, go after more listings, sell no more new construction, and do some rentals. Because rentals always people need rentals, and they're going to always be paying commissions, especially here in South Florida. So there are angles where you can go where the market is not going to change, because the people who are in those niches are going to always need our services. It's our job as agents and brokers to be able to articulate those services and show our value. Once we can prove our value, people will pay. And the people who can't, I think there'll be more creative solutions for that. If your buyer can't pay you a 3% commission, and the seller's not offering 3% commission, what are you going to do? You're going to lower the price by 3%, or lower your offer by 3%, and then ask the seller to commit 3% towards the buyer's closing costs, which is your commission. So I think there's going to be a lot of creative workarounds that end up coming out of stuff like that.
I agree.
All right, awesome. Rob.
Yo. What's the question?
Same question. What's the fallout from the commission lawsuit, and what are your plans to mitigate it?
I mean, pretty much Nate went over all of it. I think the piece everybody's missing is that the listing, agreement is between the seller and the listing broker, right? It's not even the listing agent. It's between the broker and that seller, right? You, like Nate said, it doesn't matter whether you even offer. Well, it used to matter that you offered a co-broke. You had to put at least $1 in our MLS, but I think that's what got people in trouble. But now they're going to zero, right? You don't have to share that commission, but I'm all about transparency. And even in our contracts, it does mention how much you're going to be offering as a co-broke. But my thing is, that broker gets to decide what they want to share out of that commission. The seller agreed to 6%, 5%, 7%, sometimes 10%. I know a guy in Virginia is doing 10%, right? And they're agreeing to that, right? So that's, I mean, I don't know how they lost this lawsuit. I have no idea. They must have had the worst lawyers ever for NAR or for whoever was getting sued. But the thing is, what I'm doing, you know, I'm training our people to start using the term marketing fee as opposed to commission, especially when presenting it to potential sellers, right? And being transparent in that way. You got a marketing fee for you, the listing agent, and there's a marketing fee, suggested marketing fee for the buyer's agent, right? What you're gonna give them. You're still gonna operate in the same way. It's gonna be the same thing, but getting away from that ugly term commission, because commission is gonna be an ugly term for a while. All right, so start get in the habit of using different verbiage, right?
Makes sense.
You know, and I think being in the right verticals, like luxury, new construction, luxury, you know, those people they're going to continue to pay for the convenience, right? They don't care. Even if they're buying a property, if they got to pay the buyer's agent, they're going to pay for it, right? They're not gonna, you know, yell and scream about it. It's just, you know, there's still such thing as doormen, right? At, you know, some of these high-end hotels and apartment complexes and whatnot. So that hasn't gone away. So I think, again, you know, preparing, getting more listings, being in the right verticals, that's the kind of stuff that we're preparing for.
Okay, awesome. And JR, you're next. I want to give a quick results of the first poll. How concerned you with the NAR lawsuit? Only 16% of y'all were really concerned. 55% of y'all were slightly concerned, and then 29% aren't really concerned with it. So we see those questions coming in. We're going to circle back to those. All right, JR, what you got?
Yeah, so real quick, you know, a couple of things I think Nate hit on it earlier, and I'm just going to piggyback off of him. We're not articulating our value enough. Like, we're not talking about like what we're doing. Like, we offer on and off market properties because of how we're taught within our course. We know all the options as like realtors, right? Because we know all the new construction, which is the new inventory that in a market where there's no inventory. And also we talked about mortgages. We forgot to talk about that. Well, I just got an email today from somewhere in Orlando that's given a 4.75 interest rate in a market where it's 7 and 8%. So we're not worried about that because we know that information. And people that are out there that are agents that don't know this stuff, this is why you join these groups. This is why you pay for the coaching and training, because now you're exposed to a network of people who understand this market. And, you know, if you're someone that's not in a group, I highly, you know, suggest that you invest it, because we're in talks to add something that's going to change the game. Like, most agents don't have a loss leader in their business. What's a loss leader? A loss leader is basically something that allows you to attract a client at a low price or at a nominal price, right? Well, we have the best one. This loss leader in luxury leases brings the clients that you want. You know, it's one market, guys. It's the same market in different stages. So, you know, someone relocating to Florida, for example, they're not just going to buy the first time. We're catching them in the first phase. So then we already know that we're going to put them in a new construction project, like what Michelle just sold the other day. She just sold someone one of the best penthouses in the Bentley. But because she understands her loss leader, now she has the cash flow consistently to make the money. And even if you're going to focus on new construction, you need to make money every day. You can't make money like 90 days from now. That's the biggest problem that agents have. They get paid in arrears, and arrears can turn into years if you're talking about new construction. The stuff is not built. Not everybody pays up front. So for me, what I've pivoted, I've done 3 things. I invested in this course that Damon and Nate created. That's 1. 2, I've shifted back to luxury leases, and I've focused on that. By doing that, I've attracted one of the best partners in the game, in Michelle. So now I know I'm going to be guaranteed income. Why? Because I know that the interest rate's high. That's going to mean less sales. There's more agents. So I need more streams of income. 3, I'm now looking into doing international real estate. So I've gone all in on that. Why? Because now I have 3 different streams of income, which aren't affected by NAR. And international commission NAR doesn't even affect it. You don't even need a license to sell overseas. So now you're talking some commissions upwards as 10%. So now using the same systems that Damon and Nate teach, now I can tap into international market. And the last thing that I'm going to do, one of my lenders, and he offered me an opportunity. He said, JR, you know what? You're good. I need you to do this. I need you to get your lending license. Why? Because I want to give you 1% on your deals, but I need you to get your license to do that. So now I just gave you 4 streams of income that you're able to get. Now I'm going to be making income on both sides of my transactions for my resales. I'm going to articulate why you need to work with me. And it's going to be, I'm going to show that to my clients, and I'm going to keep doing my luxury leases and new construction. So the market, I'm not affected by the changes because I'm actually going to make more money now. And I'm happy the changes are coming because a lot of realtors are going to get jobs. And I showed you a system in a loss leader that's going to guarantee you income that's going to lead to the final goal. And last thing, and I'll end with this. What's your goals as an agent? Is it just to sell more? Like, this is just the entry point in the industry. It's not just to become a seller, a salesperson, right? The goal is to be bigger, like own maybe a brokerage or have an opportunity to do something similar to that. Maybe develop and things like that. Maybe, become like an agency and different things like that. Those are supposed to be your goals. Investor as a realtor, not just be a salesperson. So I think too many agents are just focusing on the first step too much. There's a lot of money out here. And I think, we have an opportunity with the systems that we have within this group to like scale and do bigger and better things.
All right, thank you, JR. Real quick, I have Tanaha. She mentioned, going back to what Nate and Rob had mentioned. She said, when I write my thank you letter, I summarize the hurdles I've overcome and how my services have saved them in a conversational way, of course. That way it's in writing, and typically they save those cards and brag about it to their family and friends, which I'm sure also encourages referral. So that's actually, I think that's a pretty solid idea as far as communicating is going. Let me see, we got any other questions in here. Yeah, Diane said, and I think the 3 of you guys covered this, but I'm gonna put it out there and kind of you tell me your thoughts. Diane said a lot of buyers can't afford to pay an agent any commission. What are your thoughts on that as far as the current state?
Well, I don't think that's going to go away. I think what's going to happen in most of the panelists on this Zoom, it probably won't affect most of us because, like Rob alluded to, most of us are selling luxury stuff or selling new construction. And in those cases, a buyer who's a luxury buyer and you can articulate your value to them none of my clients would have problems paying me another 3% if they had to, because they know my value. Outside of that, if you're working with some of these middle market buyers and they don't have it, what I believe is going to happen, what I'm going to do, I can't speak for nobody else, and what I'm going to coach my agents to do is if you're in a position where your client has found a house and the seller is not offering a commission, then you ask the seller for a 3% credit towards their closing costs. And you have a buyer brokerage agreement that says that and anybody on here knows how I feel about buyer brokerage agreements. It's not my thing. But if this is the way you have to get paid, you have a buyer brokerage agreement that says your client is going to pay you 3%, and they just get that 3% as a credit from the seller. So now if you have a greedy listing agent who's taking 6%, instead of that transaction just costing the seller 6%, now it's going to cost them 9% because they're paying the listing agent 6% and they got to credit the buyer another 3% to pay me. So it's not, I don't think the 3% is going to go away, at least for the intelligent agents who are able to articulate that value and still find their clients' properties. I think it's going to be hard on, as JR alluded to, a lot of agents are going to quit just because they don't know how to navigate this. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the conversational skills. They don't have the confidence. They don't believe that their service is valuable enough to defend their commission. And if you don't believe your service is valuable enough to defend your commission, you probably shouldn't be in real estate.
Fair.
Yeah, I think D too in this in the chat answers it pretty well. And I think that's what's going to happen also. Some buyers are going to have to, they're going to put up the price of the house maybe. Like if it's still seller's market and fix it into the financing. I think you're going to see that happening too.
Yep.
Get creative with it.
Also too, one of the things that we all have to take into retrospect, because I just don't sell new construction. I sell commercial, I sell investments, I sell single family homes, I help first time home buyers. I grind. One of the things that I'm good at is explaining what the expectations are going to be. So up front, hey, listen, here's the market, here's what's happening. Are you able to pay this fee? If not, we need to step back. We need to plan accordingly. And however I can negotiate or finagle a deal through closing costs, prepaids, and buyers' credits and rate buy downs, I'm able to work that deal however I want. I mean, this whole buyer's agency thing, I'm not worried about. I mean, everybody should have a buyer broker's agreement. I mean, you get a quarter tank of gas with me. I'm not wasting a full tank of gas with you. I'm not a taxi. I don't work for Uber. I don't even know who Lyft is. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, and you should be the same thing. You should respect your business, man. You should respect what you do. And how you do that is you have that conversation right up front. You know what? You're not getting in this car until we know what we're doing. Pretty much, I tell everybody I can't get in my car because of the insurance purposes. But you should know your value, man. I mean, this business is not hard. This business is not something difficult. It takes, how can I put it? Right now is the prime opportunity for people to be building their skills, sharpening their iron. Success is nothing that nobody knows. It leaves clues. We just all trying to figure it out, right? That's a waste of time. You lose money. You know what I mean? You have to make sure that you provide value to your clients by helping them understand. Somebody in the chat said that we don't ask enough questions. Anybody on this panel, probably besides Michelle, can tell you I can talk all day. I will get down to the bottom of it and get my questions answered. By the time I get up from the table, I know exactly what the plan is going to be. You know why? I'd rather sit down for an hour than to run you around town for 5 hours.
You ain't getting but a quarter tank.
That's it. And then it's this. I'm telling you, you got to have some standards in your business, man. I mean, a guy told me that when I first got my license. He said, you get a tank of gas. That's all you get. I was like, what? A tank of gas? You're going to give me gas? Well, I didn't know what he was saying. But then I figured it out. It's like, okay, we get low on gas. I better find a house. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's how you build your mousetrap. I mean, everybody's different. JR and Michelle, they do luxury rentals and listings and all this stuff. I did my first listing today, first one in 8 years. That's because I know both parties, so it was easy. But majority of us are in the game. Nate, Rob, me, we're trying to get Damon in there, but he don't have no free time. But the getting down to the nitty gritty is something you need to do. And by building your skills, you learn that stuff. You ask the question, what does that mean to you? How does that affect your family? What's your time frame? So really you're talking about this time frame instead of that time frame, right? I'm just trying to understand, help me understand. Because sometimes you have to talk to me like I'm 5 years old. So that way you get your point across to your clients and you understand each other very well. And most sellers don't know there's 125 tasks to do when selling a property. They don't know that. You're going to sit down and go through every task. Why is my commission 6%? Not because I say so. It's because I'm going to show you why it's 6%. You know, and that's what you need to articulate. I mean, you know, and you're going to have those people to buck the system. You're going to have those people that buck your commission. But your business is your business. I have turned down listings from people. I have walked away from listings from people that I said, at this point, I see that this relationship will not be going further. And I do thank you for your time. And I appreciate the great conversation we had, but this will probably not work out. But I can suggest you another agent that will help you get what you're trying to do accomplished. And I refer them to somebody I don't like, and I get a referral fee. That's just plain and simple. I mean, it's how you handle your business. I mean, if you want to go through the pillars, I mean, the build a better mousetrap, 1, you got to have standards. 2, you got to have better skills. 3, 4, systems, tools. And that's what we all have on this panel. I mean, that's how you're able to get the numbers, get the outcome that you're planning. I mean, right now, everybody's doing business planning. And they're saying, Jari, let's do business planning. I said, for what? I ain't ready to do no business planning. I haven't even figured out what the hell I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do, but I haven't put it pen to paper, because if it ain't written, it ain't real. And you know, I know Rob does this, and he has his meetings and everything's outlined. Nate has his SOPs. Damon has his SOPs. I'm just trying to develop mine. So until I can get to that point, then I'll make a plan. But in between time, I'm still having conversations. I got 5 offers accepted today before noon. But I couldn't take the day off because Damon told me I had to be here at 2:00. But yeah, I mean, going back to it, it's skills, systems, tools. That's what builds a better mousetrap for you. And learn your scripts, man. Learn your objections. Learn everything that you need to learn to combat the uneducated, so to speak. Because people in this market, I mean, they got so much bad information that it's crazy. I mean, JR mentioned he got 4.75. I got somebody locked in under 5.3 today. So, I mean, there's ways around everything. Everything sells at some point, and people eventually buy. It's just a conversation and nurturing. Always provide value, but be strategic, man. I mean, and that's what this group has to offer in everything that we do in new construction. It is very strategic. So we know when you come in where we want you to go. You know, you're getting a red pill or you're getting a green pill. But at the end of it is a deal somewhere. And we're going to figure out a way to put it together. But I mean, that's what everybody needs to understand, man. This lawsuit is going to be tied up in courts for years. Some people may offer 0. Your sellers may have to pay your commission, but figure out that conversation. You know what I mean? Talk to your lenders. Hey, how in the hell is a buyer going to pay commission if they're financing? This affects first-time home buyers, especially veterans, because a veteran loan is 100%. They can't pay your commission. Not on a VA loan. So, you know, you need to understand not only where you are, but what's going on around you and how do you combat that? I mean, you know, a lot of people are upset and complaining about it, but I don't waste my energy that way. I'd rather find a solution and just work it out.
Thanks. All right. Call you LW. Michelle.
Yes, can I have a comment? Add a comment. Hold on, let me take this out. Can I illustrate the situation? Because I think it's easier for who are listening to us understand a little clearer. I'm going to talk for myself. When I go for a listing presentation, I go to the point, to the listing agreement, and the commission is always a topic. So that's, I believe, all of us are here try to communicate that you have to level up your pitch. You have the listing agent has the job, because I'm not going to guarantee to the seller that I'm going to find the one buyer for your house. I'm a communicator. We're going to test your product, you test your market, put in a market, and I'll let you know how it responds. MLS is the vehicle to bring in the buyer. So I'm not the one, he needs to understand I'm not the one going to bring the one client for your specific house. So that's when you got to explain to the seller that that portion of commission is an incentive to the buyer agent to bring the buyer. Because I'm not capable to bring out of so many houses, so many buyers, you're one buyer. You have to be the craziest marketer in the whole world or no, so that's not how it works. So it's important to now, because I'm a listing agent and also I'm a buyer agent and a listing agent. When I go my listing, I need to make it now even clear for those sellers that will try to cut it off and say, here, you're going to have a pool of buyer if you bring incentive to the agents to bring the buyer. So you have to be good at what you do and know your stuff. That's why you're going to be guaranteed, because it's easy for a seller to understand how important it is. Sometimes if I have to tell the seller, what out of this 3% commission, this is my broker's commission 1%. This is taxes, and I keep 1%. I don't make this $1 million. And if you don't help the buyer to bring the buyer, and you have a challenge home, how are you going to sell it? So, you have to know your stuff, and that's time for adjustment, time for skill yourself, and be innovative in the market. JR and I saw one of the comments here about what means Michelle and JR. Yeah, we do have the same vision, and we have an amazing masterclass and product to share with who wants to be in this business. And we do work. JR made a comment about my latest listing, which is $8 million property, and that came from leasing, luxury leasing. They all comes from something. I believe in what I do, and I think you should believe in what you do and master, and you're gonna get the results. And if someone's interested to know what we do, JR can cover a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's time for we get master in what we do.
Absolutely. Jay, I think you had something too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, like, the thing I think, because I always say this, I come from an accounting background, like, you just need more like points of entry into your business. That's the biggest problem that most agents have. They only have like 1 or 2 ways they're getting business. So that's the thing, like, how many, and there's less properties to sell, there's more agents. So the math isn't mathing, right? So what are you going to do to like introduce new people to like into your business? And if you're trying to get into luxury, like, the 2 ways I tell people if they're going to break into luxury is 2 things: new construction and luxury leases. That's it. Like, there's other ways you can do it, but it's going to take you a long time. You talk about you don't have inventory. Well, there you go. I just gave you 2 places for free inventory, and 89%, Nate just said it, 89% of the deals come from brokers. So now your inventory issues are fixed. So that's what I tell agents. So, I think what you need to do is shut off Inman, stop going to Inman. Inman gets paid for clicks. They're paid to scare realtors, because I noticed that, like, it's the end of the year, y'all. Like, I'm excited about the new year coming. I know there's money that's going to be made because there's new opportunities. Like, I see, like, and Nate, I text Damon, and hopefully we'll be able to share it. But I just want you guys to hear this straight from the horse's mouth. Gill Desert. Michelle sold one of the properties there. She got paid 5% commission on an $8 million sale. So hopefully I'll be able to share this, but you guys need to hear this straight from the developers' mouths so you can understand why there's excitement, right? And we're in the circle of people that teach the system. And I've already had a conversation with Damon and Nate. Just because of the value they've given me in the relationship, we're going to do a high level training within the course. So you're going to see that pop up once it's completed, right? We're in the process of recording it and getting it done, but we're going to have a section in there in the course that's going to show you some of the stuff that we're doing, because we believe that, you know, our systems basically are, it's the same thing, just in a different stage. That's it. Some of the projects, Nate and I have talked about it, and Damon too. It's the same people that's the developer. They have a different product. Like Related Group, they do luxury apartments. They have a 1 bedroom for $4,000, but then they'll also sell you a project for 10 million. So they understand the market. And we had a project that we tested, right? It's called Nuvo, a campaign, for example. It's the first build for rent luxury single family home community. We did this campaign. They've killed it with leads. They've done so many leases. I was actually the person that raised the commission from $1,500 to $3,000. So because of the same process that they teach in the course, I was able to work with the on-site staff, same thing on-site. I was able to get into their email list when they opened, same things they teach in the course. And because of that, I was able to set something up, and now they're reaping the rewards of something that they taught us. So as you know, for us to give back to this group, we're like, hey, look, you know, we want to give, you know, a high level training within your course. Obviously, you know, we're going to have our own course that's the upgrade later, but at least to get you started and get your feet wet, you know, here's some opportunities that you have that are very similar to what we're doing, because we know this works. And the whole, you know, interest rate, you know, the whole waiting to get paid, we figured all that stuff out already. So that's all done. So, but the most important thing that, you know, you have to take away from what Michelle said is that you need to have the confidence in speaking to people. And one thing that I realize when I speak to agents is they don't know how to convert leads. Damon and Nate can give you all the leads in the world. They can show you all the system. But if you don't know how to talk to the person in person or close it, Jari, Rob, Michelle, they'll all tell you. That's what this boils down to. We're nothing but glorified appointment setters. Your goal is to make appointments. That's it. Appointments for listings, appointments for sales, for buyers. That's it. That's your job. And for tenants. That's all we do. But if you can't close and, you know, and close these people, you're always going to have a problem. So that's where, like Jari said, this is about your skills and scripts. You have to know what to say. You have to know how to overcome the interest rate objection. Like, if you tell me the interest rate is high, well, I got 2 objections for you. I got 2 counters to your objection. Okay. Well, one, if you're a new buyer, I'm going to put you with a lender that I work with that will give you like money, right? He'll get you up, like, for example, one city can get $100,000, right? So now the whole interest rate thing doesn't matter, because I can buy down your interest rate because you have so much money coming to you, right? And then if there's no programs like that in your market, okay, I'll put you into new construction. I know that in new construction properties are going to have the better rate. So that's it, done. There's no, oh, the rates are too high. That's not an issue. And it's even crazy because one super important thing, this time of the year, for a lot of these companies, their fiscal year actually ends this month, not in December. So you'll have certain lenders within those on-site new construction communities. They'll reduce the price and give seller credits. So now what's the excuse? There's no excuse, because you know the information. Now you're equipped to close more deals because now you're eliminating problems. So the most important question you need to know is, people live in the payment, not the purchase price, right? You know, they get stuck into, I need a $600,000 house. No, how much can you pay? Now, when I go to the people that's on site, I say, hey, how can we get to this number? And believe it or not, many of them will make it happen, especially with some of these developers. So this is the approach that you guys need to have. And because of this group, I've been successful in doing that. I have 2 family members that are buying this year. One bought new construction, one bought a resale, but he still got a relatively new house. And they all love DR Horton. And guess what? The resale just so happened to be a DR Horton house too. How did I know? Because I know how I know their product. They got the same weird tub at every property. But if you don't go, you know, that plastic cheap tub that I'm talking about, you know, you know, if you know your products, you know exactly who it is. So as soon as I walk into the house, I'm like, oh, this is a winner. This is DR Horton, because I know the product. And that's what you need to understand. And I think this is where us as agents need to really like, look, this is the time. It's not to get fat off of turkey and ham, whatever you're going to eat. It's the time. There's money to be made. Some of my best like clients, I actually got them around this time. Why? They're in town looking for deals. So this ain't the time to be chilling and taking off, Thursday. I already told one of the agents I work with, I'm like, listen, you need to be marketing heavy. People are going to be in town this week. Then you got our Basel in South Florida coming. So you need to be marketing heavy these next few weeks. Don't be chilling this week. I'm telling you, I've met some great people. I met a developer from France around this time last year. We're still negotiating on something right now. But he told me he's in town because I texted him. I'm like, I know he'll probably be in town for Thanksgiving because his kids live here. So, don't give up. It's still time to make money. And that's my rant. And hopefully Damon lets me share this video, because this video, I'm telling y'all, it's going to change your whole year. It's about 4 minutes. But once you guys hear this video, you're going to understand the passion.
Yeah, we'll see. We got time for that. Next question is, have you seen interest rates affect your business, and what are your plans on that? We'll go back to the top. Jari again. I have a timer, Jari.
Yeah, I have. Since September, I did see a shift. And people backing away from the market. But the thing about it is, once they come to the realization that things are not going to change the way they want it to be, and they have to live with what reality is, the shifts again, that now more people are coming to the market. And with new construction offering more incentives, lower interest rates, more upgrades, closing costs, it's just an easier conversation right now. Time.
Yep, you just made it. Michelle.
Yes, interest rate affect a lot of the business. I guess putting myself in the buyer's shoes, I will also take a little step back just to see where we were heading. Is a smart decision, consider being a buyer. But I guess we already passed that, and we know that that's reality. What I talk to my clients that we should be lucky that the interest rate is like not low at all. Because I remember when I bought my first house, I was 22 years old and I paid 16% interest rate, and everybody was doing it. And I always tell the story because it's a real story. And they can see that we've been spoiled before. But yes, I myself, because I do a lot of listings as well, I even got my buyers to, if they don't feel. People ask me, Michelle, when's the right time to buy? I say, listen, the right time to buy is not about when the interest rate is high or low. It's when you can afford. Well, can you afford the monthly payment? Do you have your money saved? You have your credit? So that's the right time. It's not about the interest rate. But yes, when the things was super crazy, I never stopped making money because I continue to do my listings. And that's what we should do. A professional that took the courage to be in this business. This is being a realtor is a crazy job because we do so much without any guarantee that we're going to get paid. And then you have to be innovative. And me and JR, we never stop making money, because if people need a roof one day or another, renting or buying. So, but yes, the interest rate, it was a point there was a problem, but not as much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. O'Connor. How are interest rates impacting your business, or how have they?
I mean, yeah, of course, but not, again, the two verticals that we're in, luxury and new construction. New construction with the incentives and everything out there, I think, this is the best deal in town, right? Versus resales.
Good question on that. How many consumers actually are aware of that? We all know this, but how many consumers actually are aware of that? And are you making it a point to inform and educate them on that, or how does that work for you and your team?
Well, let me check. I'm going to say 10,816 of my people know that it's the best deal, right?
Okay.
So they're aware. Like anybody that's in my system, yeah, I remind them of that. And that's through, email marketing, market reports and stuff like that. I'm always sending them the deals anytime, like DR Horton, Lennar, or whatever, send me their special incentives. I'm forwarding it to, everybody in my system, in my CRM. So Yeah, for me, that's where I just like Jerry said he got one 5.3. I thought I was doing good. I got my guy 5.5 last week on a 7 year arm, and it worked out perfect for him. I mean, that's another thing y'all need to know about, like these different mortgage products that are available to you, because there are like arms, 7 year arms, ideal for most people, because the average time a person stays in a home is 7 years, right? And prices, or I mean, interest rates will probably drop in that time anyway, where they can get in a permanent 30-year fixed or whatever if they refinance. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there. Like Jari said, there's a workaround for everything. You just got to be think outside the box, and that's another thing we get paid for, right? That's our value, like knowing these things. That's what people got to realize. I mean, you might have put them in a house that they otherwise might have not been able to ever dream of getting, because all they thought was what they saw on the front page. Interest rates 8%. Don't pay a realtor, whatever. Like you say, educate.
Educate and communicate. Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you. Anything else, Rob? Oh, all right. Nate.
Yeah, everything they said. But I also think that that's whether interest rates are affecting people is sort of there are two schools of thought on that. There are a lot of people who just they got to take action. If someone lists a house right now, it's because they got to sell the house. That's not for some people, that's not a question. It's a relocation, a death, a divorce, a baby. There's all types of things. There are reasons where people still have to sell. And by the same token, there are reasons why people got to buy right now. So there's a portion of the market who is in a position. Like I do have some higher end, some of my luxury guys who are just like, yeah, it'd be cool to buy now, but I could wait. So they have a very specific criteria, and now they can be more strict about that criteria because interest rates don't make them very happy. But there are other people, if you just got a job offer, you just got your kids just moved down here, all types of your kids just had to move back home. There's all types of reasons where there are both motivated buyers and motivated sellers there that need to buy, independent of the interest rates. And that is a great opportunity for just what Rob alluded to, for us to be able to show them ways that they can afford a little bit more house than they thought they could. If you need that office, that home office, but you can't get that home office if you got to pay 7.5%, but you can get that home office if you're at 5.5%, there might be some magic we can share with you. It's our job to be able to show them that. And in any market, we see this in South Florida, definitely. The money's always getting spent. The only thing that changes is who's spending it. And it's our job to be able to provide the value to those people. And then when the interest rates get back and the weather gets better and all that other stuff, then all the people come back to the market and happy days are here again. But right now, there are motivated buyers and motivated sellers independent of interest rates. It's our job to give, as we give people in the program, to give everyone the tools and resources and information to be able to find those buyers and then effectively communicate their value to them.
Absolutely. A quick poll update. Are you interested? Are interest rates affecting your business? We had 89% of folks said yes. It was 100% here. So quick note on that. And then so we'll let the last poll keep rolling. All right. So that was basically the conversation that we wanted to have. And I have a couple of takeaways here, and you guys got questions, put them in the chat. So let me share this real quick. All right. So one of the things that a lot of agents are not particularly great at is the long game and nurturing, basically put it bluntly, follow up. So if each one of you guys can kind of give some tips and strategies that you're actively doing to, one, have more conversations, but to nurture. I know, Rob, you said you have 10,000 individual leads and you've got a team too. So what are you guys doing to encourage your teams, your agents, and yourself? What are you doing to stay in touch? Because there's always more money in the follow-up, which most agents don't really pay attention to. but it's critical. So kind of go down the line again. Give a couple, 2 to 3 tips and strategies that are working for you or that you intend to do to make sure that you stay memorable. Because 95% of agents are forgettable. What are you doing to stay memorable? Jari, if you're doing anything. If you're not, we'll work on you with that. But Jari.
One of the things I'm doing is I kind of sucked at follow-up for a while. Because I got the same thing from everybody, their voicemail. So what I've started to do is a series of videos. So I'm texting that to my clients. They're seeing my face, they're seeing my reaction, they're getting my information, my updates. How's the family, this and that. But I think the most important thing in order to track your business and get traction is you need to develop a system that allows you to be consistent. And it's not a big leap like Rob with 10,000 people. God bless you, brother, because I would have had to figure a way to cut that out. I'd had to trim that down. But I know you have a process. So out of that 10,000 in Rob's funnel, he's at the top of the funnel, but he's spitting out people at the bottom of his funnel. And how he does that is a process. But I think the most effective thing for me in the last couple months, and I'll just be honest, because it was that funky time where nobody was doing anything. I figured out something to do to keep me consistent in my daily activities. So what I mean by that is, if it doesn't make me money, I don't do it.
Revenue generating activities.
So dollar producing activities. So I start my day with an act of kindness. I do something for somebody else. Because I'm a big firm believer in karma in the universe, and I don't want neither one of them messing with me. Not right now. I try to get at least 10 to 15 conversations because, Damon, I lead gen all over the place. I market all over the place. So I try to have 15 conversations with people that I don't meet. From that, I'm just keeping it sensible because, originally my follow-up was I had to have 200 calls. I'm doing something that is more manageable and meaningful to my day. So with that, then I have 10 follow-up calls. I'm doing a video or putting a post on social media or sending somebody something that's motivational. I send 5 follow-up text messages or videos. So I'll create a video about the market. I'll send it to my sphere of influence, my past clients. Here's a market update, da, 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 da. If you're a buyer, hey, listen, have you heard about this? This is how this could affect you. When you're ready, let me know. Let's make a plan. I do a growth thing to where I'll listen to a motivational video or read 10 pages of a book. I ask for a review every day because in this business, believe it or not, you're going to get Googled. You're going to get Googled, so you might as well have it reflect who you are. And then just doing a review process at the end of the day, what objections I have, what questions I got stumbled on, what worked, what didn't work. And then I do an hour me time because it could be very demanding being at the level that some of us are without, taking care of ourselves, not eating right, not exercising. But that not eating right is off the table this week. So it's Thanksgiving. So there will be no diet discussions whatsoever, period. But that's what I'm doing, man. And, at the end of the day, all that stuff is broken down on a sheet. I'll show y'all it's like this. I don't know if you can see it with my screen. But at the end of the day, I try to achieve on a different level 70 points total off of that whole sheet. And I was skeptical at the beginning that it wouldn't work.
It's a report card. I want to piggyback on that because when we were in school, the way we knew we were doing well or not was because we got that midterm or end of semester report card. So we knew how we were doing. After school, we don't have report cards unless it's a hair on fire exercise. What you're doing is a weekly or daily report card so you can see the progress you're making. Because up here, when you can see you're making progress, it pushes you forward. Then you're just like, I feel like I got something done, but I don't even know what it is. So side note, but go ahead.
No, I appreciate it. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it keeps me accountable to my plan, but also gives me another look at what is working, what am I doing to be consistent. And so by doing that, just working through CRM, setting up tasks and all this other stuff, I'm able to identify my top 20 people in the next 60 days. Once one of them comes out of that pipeline, like 5 came out today, I got to go five more. So that's what I'm working on. Not a humongous scale, but a very small strategic mousetrap.
It's compound interest, same concept. You're doing a little bit, and it leads up. I'm gonna add to that because you went in a direction I wasn't thinking about, and I guess most of y'all on this call know I'm a big mindset person. So there's a couple things that are easy to do if you want to baby step into this. One, I'll tell you what I do. Every Sunday I plan my week out. Of course, things go left or right, but at least I have a direction of where I'm going. That's my GPS. 2, in the beginning of every day or at the night before, I plan out what I'm going to do the next day. And I keep it at a high level because I know crap's going to happen. I have fires to put out, whatever. But that way, I don't have to wake up like, what am I going to do? I know what I'm doing. Third thing is, when you're struggling with something, or if you just want more, like your 5 people, Jari, before you go to bed, it's important that you do it this way. Before you go to bed, write down what you need help with. I need to find my top 5 people or whatever, or figure this thing out. Every night, write that down. It's on top of your brain when you're going to sleep. You're going to start dreaming about it. You're starting having like whatever you want to say, God, the universe, whatever. You're going to start getting ideas and things moving your direction because you went to sleep on it. Again, it might sound kind of weird, but do it for a month and then come back and tell me what happens. That's completely game changer. So that was real quick. I wanted to share that because Jari went there and it forced me to. Michelle, for you, give a couple of follow-up nuggets or what you're doing to become memorable with your pipeline.
Absolutely.
Stay memorable.
Yes. Follow-up is the name of the game. And I'm gonna see what I do different that I believe I don't see other realtors doing it. When I'm with a client, if it's buying, selling, or renting, I see there's a very precious moment that is a time that you can take the most amount of notes about your client, use your CIM for that. So I put all kind of notes about because eventually you're going to forget, but you have to write it down on your CIM. And on the follow-up, okay, after I deal with my client, let's say we had a closing, they moved in, I already scheduled 5 touch up with phone call to every single one. Okay, all right, so I will give an idea, like I will say, I'm going to follow up with a phone call, besides emails, besides everything else. But with the email is very important. 5 touch-ups with this client. And on the middle of my follow-up, I never sell. With my notes, I say, how is your wife really were able to get the job that she was looking for? How is your daughter? Did you put her in a school that you mentioned to me? How is the house? I always do something, a very quick call. And I do kind of give myself a little hint what to say every single call. Because while I was with the client, I didn't take for granted that moment. Because that moment, we're going to stick together for a week or a month or months. And I know the preference, I know what they like. And that's, for me, this little information, it is super valuable because it's so uncomfortable. You make the phone call and you sell. Hi, are you planning to sell your house? Are you planning to buy? No, that's not the call that they want to. So, you have a moment to have to bond some certain ways and certain level. And that quick follow-up is very important when you're not selling, and then get to a point that you want to call for the sale or for whatever is your intention. But that's one of the ways how I become in front of my client, in front of them, because I do a little quick calls and try not to sell every single time that I'm calling. Just kind of check on them, offer my service, offer if I'm being helpful with something else, and check on them. And it takes a lot, but if you will really schedule, you make it. And it's not that hard. Hard is not to call because you don't know what to say. You don't follow up because you're not organized enough and you don't know what to say. That's why you never call. But when you know what to say, you're going to make a phone call. It's quick. And one more tip that I do when you have a long generate a lot of leads, you deal with a lot of two years ago, I've done like a huge amount of transactions because we do have a system, and that's what we're going to be talking on this new master classes coming. It was a long pipeline, so I start naming my clients with something that I remember their story. The one that hang up on my face at the first, or the one who has a son this way, or something that reminds me the whole story about my client, because when I have to call, I don't struggle what to say. And then that's only way you make a phone call. Phone call, it's super important because, emails campaign is important, but you know how much emails you get and you know how often people open. So the phone call is a key, and that's my strategy.
Awesome. Now, that is the perfect example of non-booty call follow-up, which most agents, you guys know, I've coined that. They treat their pipeline like a booty call. That's how not to do it. That is great. All right, so Mr. O'Connor.
Yeah. All right, I forgot the question. I mean, I
Drop some nuggets on how you're
like talking about our day. No,
$10 million
I'm gonna drop some more nuggets. I'm gonna drop some fire here. Okay, this is gonna help a lot of people, right? Like, not Jari, but Nate was saying earlier, right? There's always gonna be transactions. Look at the 4 Ds, right? Debt, death, divorce, and deployment, right? You can market right to those people. If you can fix a pain point for anybody and speak to that, you'll make more sales. Don't sell the desire, sell the pain point, right? As far as new construction goes, how do you use that outside of, new construction marketing? Target marketing. I believe in target marketing very much, right? So think of some older communities in your area, not far from the new construction that you're doing, and do a little research. Look at the people that have lived there for 16, 20 years, right? That bought that house new, right? That house is old now. You already know they buy new houses. They like new houses. They know the advantage of new houses. Now you just got to tell them about all the new incentives and stuff like that. Maybe they're not even thinking about moving, but listen, your house is now worth more than it's ever been, right? You have a ton of equity. You can take out some of that equity or roll it all into the new house, right? Here, there's different options. So you gotta kind of plant seeds, right? You're planting these seeds and putting these ideas in their mind that they're not thinking of on a daily basis, because they're going to work, they gotta take care of the kids, they gotta do all this stuff. They ain't thinking about this stuff. So if you can iterate that in a good, smart way, you're going to turn some people that were not even thinking about buying into buyers. Anyway, as far as controlling my 10,816 people on my CRM, I'm always stress testing, right? I'm stress testing it all the time. I'm sending, I got it, compartmentalized. So I'm sending the right people the right information, but then I got general information that I send as well, blogs, stuff like that I'm doing, videos or whatever. And I want to see who's unsubscribing. I want to see hey, if you're not going to buy a house or you're not interested in what I'm talking about, then get out of here. Right? I don't need you. So it's just keeping that. So, the people that are there are eventually going to buy. When the right offer hits them at the right time, then you're going to get a phone call. So I'm constantly following up. The 2 sales I had this week, one I started working with in December 21, and the other one I started with last Christmas Eve, and boom, you know, I just stayed in touch, built that relationship, built that trust, and I pretty much told them what they need to buy because now they trust me so much. I just point at something and say, you know, buy that, and then this is a good deal. And literally, we're doing that. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. That's it.
Okay. You know what? Real quick, run through because you have a. I think it's a dope follow up. You posted on IG the other day. The way that you let clients know the status of their homes being built.
Oh yeah, I mean, I go the extra mile. I'm gonna do something that nobody else is doing. Like I show up with my drone, and I'll go out there, and I'll shoot drone video. I'll put music to it and everything, edit it, and send it to them, and they love it. I might have to do it. I might do it once. I might do it twice, but they remember that, and they keep it, and they share it with all their friends and family and stuff like the people let everybody know about it. So that gets referrals and stuff too. So yeah, that's a nice little pro tip also.
That's a little nugget, y'all. Write it down. I've seen him do that for a while. All right, thank you, Rob. Mr. Crawford.
Well, I do everything that everybody else said they do. But one thing that y'all haven't is Client Giant. So for existing clients, I use a service called Client Giant. As soon as we close, whether it's a rental or a sale, Client Giant for $99 a year will send them something once a quarter, usually a pretty high-end gift or relatively high-end gift, once a quarter with a note, tell them I appreciate them, and I do that right at closing. For anyone that's in my funnel, I've been working on doing just weekly update videos about whatever's going on in the world, or I'll do a video whenever I update my YouTube channel. When I put a new video on YouTube, I send an email out to the whole list so they can go check out the video. Because what you want is FaceTime with your clients. You want them to see you doing whatever you do and offering value. So those are probably my two big things: is sending emails and Client Giant.
All right, awesome. And to wrap it up, JR, you had a video you wanted to share around the new construction luxury.
Yeah, this is like we got to end off with this one because this allow me to share real quick.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, all right, perfect. Just waiting on it.
Make sure you share the audio too, because there's a button that's going to say share audio.
It's saying that it's the host disabled participant screen sharing.
No, try it now. I gave you hold on, which JR? You got 3 JRs in here. Go ahead and say something.
Hey, I gave everybody.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, that's not the one I gave.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you have hosting the JR at J Alex.
Yeah, that's me. So it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
On the wrong one.
All right. You're the host now. Hold on.
All right, let me make sure. It's still saying I'm not the host.
Yeah, reclaim host. Let me try it again. All right, let me try the next one.
It says you're the host now. Yeah. So I just saw.
All right, so I'm giving you hosting rights. Oh,
the
the other
co-host.
Make a host. Boom. Because now I can't share.
All right, perfect. So here it goes, guys. Make this big. Then you says the audio is loud.
Make sure you check in the share. You have to check in the share. So unshare it.
Okay. So
and stop share.
Okay.
So
okay. Share sound. Okay, I see where it's at.
Share
All right.
sound.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'll get out real quick.
Now, is this the one you said Gil is speaking? You're muted.
And Gil, you just brought in Douglas Elliman. Speaking of Michael's old firm at Bentley, what was the rationale? Before we run out of time, something that affects a lot of the brokers out here. And curious if you guys have an opinion.
No, it's paused up. Might have to send out a link for it.
Hold on one second. Let me get out of this.
Yeah, we'll send out a link for it.
All right.
So people can watch it. But you want to kind of get some context to it?
Basically what Gil Desert is saying, like Gil Desert, he was saying essentially that the commissions are baked in. So he said that he'll probably be paying even more commissions. So based on what's happening with the market, and two other top developers in our market were also sharing the same sentiment. So, but it just gave us like hope that like, hey, they're like the commissions are here to stay, and like we're in a good place. They're happy and they need us. And it was basically just cheering us on as realtors that they we're their partners and they look forward to working with us in the new year.
Yeah, and 90% of transactions come from realtors. And last question, Tracy Ann. Hello, Tracy Ann. In light of the lawsuit, what would you say to a buyer who has been in the market looking for a while with limited funds, but now may be worried about finding additional funds to pay the realtor? How would you build that buyer's confidence? That's a free for all. Whoever has.
I got that.
Of course you do.
So, Tracy, that's a very good question. I was just replying to you. Damon got to it too fast, or I was probably typing more than I talked. But find those programs in your area with your lenders that offer those people funds to help buy real estate. And what I mean by that is, you have the Shinoa Fund, you have first-time homebuyer grants, you have state programs, some municipal counties and stuff are giving away funds for people to buy homes. So with that being said, that's your upfront cost. Then get with that lender and find out what it needs for closing costs. If it's 3%, ask for 6%. That goes to closing costs, prepays, buy downs, and rate buy downs. So one of the things is there's a lot of funds out there for people to purchase property. You just got to connect the dots. Your job, and this is what a coach of mine told me, your job is in real estate is to blah, blah, blah. All you are to do is to talk to people, connect A to B to get to the paycheck. And it's helping people, providing value. Once you help them and it's a great experience, they will send you everyone they know. And I have 10 clients that are just like that. So I hope that kind of helps navigate that question.
Yeah,
And Jari,
I'll piggyback on what Jari said, and to build that buyer's confidence, I'd build their confidence in you. Like at the end of the day, you're the value. So you're going to be the person that goes out and does what Jari said. You're going to be the person to tell them, hey, we might just be able to get a seller contribution towards your closing costs to cover, my commission. There are all of those things. I've had at least 2 clients in the last 30 days when I said to them, hey man, you got in on a really good deal at XYZ property in Miami. Man, you really know what's going on. And their response to me was, no, I don't know what's going on. I just know you, Nate, and you know what's going on. So I provide the value. If that client trusts you, then they're good. Once they know that they're in good hands with you and you deliver, they'll be fine. So whenever your clients have anxiety about the market or about whatever, I believe it's my job, it's our job as agents, as brokers, to comfort them because they have confidence that they're working with the best broker that they can find. They're working with the best agent for them. And if they have that confidence in you and you can deliver on that, then you're gonna win every time. So it's just a question of being able to connect with those resources like Jari, me, or JR, anyone else who has resources to connect them with those things, but they don't know what to do. You know what to do, and you share those action items with them. So as long as they're confident that you can take care of them, then you get a win there.
I'll tell you what, too, here's a thought. tell them get up off the sidelines and buy now before that's ever even an issue. Like you got a pipeline, you got people, tell them, say, listen, hey, there's a chance you might have to pay me to buy a house, in the future. If you're ready, if you want to buy a house and you don't want to have to pay the realtor on top of everything else you got to pay, maybe you should get on the giddy up and let's go.
Hey, just to hit that, what Rob said, he triggered something in me right quick. I almost had a Vietnam flashback. But one of the things why people should buy now, you guys really need to seriously think about it, is now is the best time because they're getting so much of an advantage in this market. They're getting repairs fixed, closing costs, concessions, price reductions, new construction, closing costs, rate buy downs. This is the market that your buyers want to be in. Because I'm going to tell you, by May of next year, they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt and cussing you out because you didn't force them to buy a house. Because when this thing flips, it's all access. We're going to go back to 20 offers, 30 offers. Everybody's coming out of the woodworks. You can't see the forest for the trees because they're all standing in the way. But they're coming out of the forest and they're all going to be wanting to buy. Problem is, they got to fight for inventory. So as they come out, they're going to be fighting for the same inventory. So get your buyers off the fence right now. Have a real hard conversation. Hey, listen, I'm looking to where the market is going. I think our situation is very rare and unique, and we need to start looking right now. And also say, hey, with current interest rates, insurance hikes, if you're in Florida, flood insurance, all that stuff plays into effect. And if you buy right now, starting January 2nd, you can file homestead to keep your tax rate low. Save our homes. That is huge. Because if not, they'll be like my neighbor and he's gonna be paying $8,000, $9,000 a year. While I'm sitting over here at $1,500 with a glass of water and some iced tea, laughing. But I mean, you have to understand your market, your environment, your situation, so you can better articulate that and explain it to your clients. Your clients are not ready now because you haven't prepared them to be ready now. I think that's what a lot of people where you need to get to. I mean, you got to have some real heart-to-heart conversations that, like, hey, listen, I know things are tough, but guess what? They're gonna get tougher. You better get ready.
All right, awesome. So wrapping it up and to piggyback on what you just said, around May, I know Nate did something with the Miami report about it's normal now for rates. Rates are where they are. So it's the norm. But when they drop and when they drop some more, what Jari just said is going to happen. People are going to enter the market again because they know they're never getting 3% again. So it's important now, number one, not to stop marketing. Take the advice that you got on this, and the replays are in the Facebook group, and I'll send them out by email too, put it on the YouTube channel. But make sure that you keep marketing. Don't slow down now when everybody else is slowing down. And like Rob and Jari and Nate, build your buyer pipeline, because when the Pandora opens up again, everybody on this call has a buyer's list that they're going to start reaching out to, which they've already started building. And to segue in, we have a ridiculous offer that we're offering you guys for if you want to track new construction. I know there's a lot of new folks in here. What we do is we show folks, they've been alluding to this, the speakers here have been alluding to this. We show you how to attract new construction and luxury new construction buyers. It's probably over $500 million in sales from our clients in the last 3 years. And that's conservative. We're running a Black Friday sale. So if you go here, you get on the waiting list. We'll send you more information. It's only going to be on Friday that it comes down. It goes up on Monday, Cyber Monday, and then it's done. It'll never be this investment level again. But if you want to know how to attract new construction, luxury new construction buyers, or just understand marketing in general, we got your back there. So any last words, any Russell Simmons takeaways from anybody in the from any of the hosts here?
I had a couple of things I wanted to say real quick. Don't forget, remember I sent you that Zillow new construction ad. So, you know, these guys are basically teaching us how to become our own Zillow. So Zillow now is doing their own Facebook ads. I sent a couple of them to Damon just so he could see. So he didn't notice what it was at first. I'm like, hey, they're marketing a new construction. I got another one for a 55 and up community. So they know, remember, they're basically like a brokerage. So, you know, that's why like we're like, hey, you know, be mindful of what's going on. Like this is like they're giving you the advantage before it happens. And Jari said something key. Don't forget, remember when gas was super high and all of a sudden election season came and gas dropped? Remember that a few months ago, like last year? So and the same thing's gonna happen with the interest rates too. So, you know, we have an election coming up, you know, very soon. So just keep that thing in mind because there's a ton of pent up demand. And based on the data that we do, based on what we're studying, we know that millennials are going to be the biggest group. That's the target audience of pent up buyers that are tired of renting. And that's where you should focus your attention on. So those are basically the two things that I wanted to say.
All right. Michelle.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be quick. Okay, you can hear me. Follow up with Jerry, where he just make a comment about how to bring the buyer buy now. One of the things that I do, and I highly recommend that everyone that's listening to this panel here, I don't know if you can see, but this app makes miracle to me. The 10 BII calculator. Easily, I show my clients that 7 years, hold the property 7, they have to put the game, be on a game now, because prices only continue increasing. Be on a game, and show them the future value. So skill yourself, get knowledge, learn how to use a calculator like this. You will impress your client. They will see that you know what you say, that you know your stuff. And easily I can show my clients that if they hold their property in 7 years, they'll be about double the money of their purchase. So that's something that I do that is super easy, and you have a buyer. If it's missing just a little bit to convert them.
Michelle, email that to me. So you guys are asking for some of the resources and stuff we've talked about. This video is going to be up on YouTube. It'll be in the description. So all of the resources that we talked about, links will be in the description. I just got to wait for that. It's The Iconic Agent is the YouTube channel. Jari, any last words? You're on the timer.
No, just get out there and make it happen, man. Make it happen. Stop listening to the wrong information. Start providing the right information, but just have more meaningful conversations with your clients. Give them the information they need to get off the fence.
Awesome. Rob.
I would just say almost the same thing. Like if you don't have market share now, like just get out there and do it like business as usual. I mean, if you have like something like me, a team and everything, you have to have contingency plans and you have to have things in place. But if, you know, there's going to be a mass exodus of realtors. So, I mean, that's almost guaranteed. There is every year anyway, right? It was hard already. So just strike while the iron's hot. When everybody else is pulling back, you push forward. Get out there and like Jari said, just do the work. Do the work. Now's your time. Spend the next 6 months just entrenched in it. Get in the trenches. You know, that's it.
All right, Mr. Crawford.
Yep. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So we are showing you how to stay ready. Because if you're not ready, somebody who is ready is going to take your money. So be ready. Thanks for coming out. God bless. Good night.
Follow up. We got the Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. Just keep following us. We're dropping some nuggets for you guys. Our goal is to help y'all win, which is why we share this information. Hop on the YouTube channel, go to theIconicAgent.com, join the mailing list. We got your back. This is just a little slither into the value that we typically provide, especially in our trainings. So you guys got questions, go into the group, drop in the question in the group, drop questions in the group, and y'all have happy Thanksgiving if that's your thing. Otherwise, happy holidays, and let's make a whole lot of money in 2024.
Yes.
Peace.
Don't give more than a quarter tank of gas.